It worked on the first try.
Oh, sweet. Sweet.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
We're just going to watch you back there until you get over here.
Okay.
What are you even doing?
I'm building something.
Build it when we're done with the stream.
Well, I was trying to kill time for the stream because watch clock never gets to where we need to.
Actually, it always does. The watch clock still moves whether you're watching it or not. You can even see the seconds going.
Okay. Well, I'll just put it this way then. I am incredibly bored watching a clock.
All right. Make sure our audio's working.
That's what I'm going to do. You could always ask the people online. Yes.
All right. Cool.
And Cherry Fluff Belly says, howdy, still exhausted from a convention trip last weekend. Yes, you probably went to the same convention. Possibly.
At Silver Quill? Oh, yeah, that was last weekend, wasn't it? That's right. Which one was it?
It was in Seattle, so I think Everfree Northwest.
Is that the one? Okay.
Maybe.
But what's up, everyone? I'm the Casual Comic for the Toku and Animation News Network here with
Cruellica Kain.
And we are here to talk about episodes 1 to 8 of Ultraman Omega.
Yeah, sorry everyone for being like super behind.
Well, we did move. And then we had to catch up on Gojuger, and then we just caught up on Gav, which was a great finale. We'll talk about that when we do a live stream, hopefully later on this week, that hopefully Silver Quill can be part of.
Even if it's virtually.
Well, obviously it'll have to be virtually, because he's not going to fly in here to do a live stream.
What if he did?
That'd be a waste of money. I'd be very disappointed in him.
But what if he stayed for like a week? Or 2?
Anyway,
I miss everybody out there.
But yes, we have watched, between yesterday and today, we watched the first 8 episodes to Omega and skipped the clip show that had Dave's actor in it from Trigger.
And a whole lot of other stuff.
Well, obviously.
But overall, I will say simplistically, the series has been great. We're all set. Goodbye. Got some stuff to do. No, I'm kidding.
That would be the quickest live stream ever.
But no, it's been great. I have to say, so far, the characters, I know we're going to get into the episodes and talk about those a little bit. But so far, the characters have been really great. The acting has been really good by the core trio.
For the most part. I'm not sure if Sarato's actor is part of it's the writing or part of it's the acting, but I like him, but there's just something I don't like about his acting style. And I don't know if it's just the way the character's written.
How so? Just out of curiosity.
It's hard to explain it. There's just something I don't like about the way he is portrayed. But he reminds me a lot of Takumi from Kamen Rider Fives. I do like that. I love his aspect of always being like, oh, I want to try that, or I want to try this. So our main character, Sarata, who's our Ultraman, has no memories of who he is.
No.
He just remembers he can transform into Ultraman. He can figure out which kaiju there are, and he always wants to try new things. He's always engaged and excited to try something new, which we'll get into as we get to the episodes, especially when he has a cold.
Oh, absolutely.
But first, who do we have online? We've got Cherry Fluffbelly, Power to 99, Chris, and that's all that's made their presence known in the comments.
Which is not a bad thing. But Cherry Fluffbelly said that they met Silver Quill last weekend, which was awesome. Silver Quill is our friend we've known him an incredibly long time. He helped us move cross country.
We've known him I've known him for 19 years.
And Chris said the series has been great so far. And Hard99 says, "Hey guys, I'm not usually here for Ultraman, but I'm trying something new." Well, welcome, and I'm excited to hear what you think about the series too, because I will say for an Ultraman series, so far, where we're at this point in time, shut up. I actually have to say this is a series that would be good to show somebody who knows nothing about Ultraman.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of lore, and while many of the viewers would have seen Ultraman before, so they know something about it, the nice thing is for people who are new to the franchise or haven't watched a lot of it, you're kind of learning alongside the characters.
This is interesting. They actually have the actors like things in here,
which I really like.
So one of the interesting aspects I will say you find on the first episode, we first start with Omega fighting these bug creatures on this rock, which I will say that was a pretty cool sequence, even though the CGI is not exactly great during it.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the music. I love the fight choreography and the way it's filmed.
Oh yeah.
But then we come to find out that this Earth he lands on has never encountered monsters before. So a monster comes up and nobody knows what to do because they've never heard of this. And then when Omega, without his memory, is like, "Oh, it's a kaiju," and they're like, "What? Kaiju? What's that?"
Well, and so when he does come to Earth, he crashes down in the middle of the forest, and then he kind of squats, for the most part, in this warehouse. That we meet our human character, who is essentially going to be
Hoshimi, or Kosei Hoshimi,
who is our viewpoint into the world. So basically, he is shocked because Omega is in human form. So kind of like Seven, I would say, because I'm getting a lot of feels for Seven or Classic, just on different things, that it's not a human who is blessed with the ultra power. It is an ultra having a human shape.
Which there's been Orb and G.
Yeah, but there's not a ton of those all the time. You sometimes more have the human that gets the...
But yeah, so he gets a packet, Kosei gets a package, comes back in and finds someone eating his noodles. And he's like, "What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this?"
Yeah, very Jack Skellington-esque.
And I did like the sequence. So when the monster first shows up, I like the sequence when the monster looks like he's about to step on Kosei and this guy, Kosei, and it goes black. And then it goes back into like first person view with Kosei as they're coming from the sky, landing on the ground before it cuts back to third person mode. I was like, I like that sequence there.
Well, and Kosei, he's supposed to be incredibly young. So, one, Shori Kondo, who plays Omega, because at this time that's all we know him as is Omega, is actually in his early 30s. And then we have Haruto Yoshida, who plays Kosei, and he's in his early 20s. So you get that.
Well, yeah, he's working in some warehouse where he's also living.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then after the first monster attack, there's people arguing, trying to figure out what's going on, and there's this little girl that's crying, and Kosei gets pissed. because they're just ignoring this little girl
Because they're
screaming
arguing.
at each other. And he's coming like, there's a kid around. Are you really going to act like this in front of a kid? It's like, yeah, that's kind of what, that's like so true because teachers do the same thing. They act like babies even when they have kids in their classroom.
Well, and the one challenge is when you go into a situation where everybody does not know what's going on, it gets a little terrifying. But in and of itself, I don't want to like go into literally every little thing about the episode, but the one cool thing I like about this particular series that we get in the first episode that we haven't had in many other series is at the start of the series, Kosei knows that Omega is Omega.
Well, so I did like, because the little girl gets reunited with her mother, then
her mother is an accident.
Trips during the next monster attack, needs help, and so they help him. I like the sequence though when they're on the ground and this mysterious man transforms, and you have him in front of the mother, and the camera's from that point of view, and then it shows him jumping towards the monster. And then it was interesting how they'll randomly subtitle the billboards around the streets. Sometimes they just keep the billboard in Japanese. It'll just be translated so that you can read it, but it's still the Japanese characters just in English.
I still like one saying your ad here.
And then there's also this one billboard that keeps showing up in every episode. FKD or something like that. But that seems to show. FDK, yeah. That seems to show up in every episode. So I'm wondering, is that going to have some significance later in the series?
I actually haven't paid attention to that. So
the monster is defeated, which I like that the monster didn't go boom. Which leads into the next episode where the government is studying the remains of this next monster.
Well, because you then learn a little bit more about how they're attacking it. So all of the scientists, it kind of reminds me of Shin Godzilla in this aspect.
Where they just have grouped together experts and they're trying to...
Yeah, because there's nobody who knows anything about these creatures. So everybody who is doing the work works in a field completely outside of...
Yeah, because we get introduced to this lady named Ayumu Ichida, I think,
yeah.
Who's a biologist that has been roped into helping with the studying of these kaiju. And they still haven't actually coined the term kaiju yet.
No. And we also get to see the growing development of the relationship between Omega and Kosei. Because Kosei, still in episode 2, for the first part of it at least, really feels like I am stuck with this dude.
Who gets hungry every time he transforms back into a human form.
Absolutely. And what the biggest problem of it is, he's roped in to caring for this dude that he has absolutely no interest in caring for and doesn't even understand why it's his responsibility.
All he knows is the guy gets hungry, and he's like Luffy, as you said.
Oh, yeah, no. He is completely
And he can smell kaiju.
Well, I still feel he gives me the Luffy vibes as we go on. But...
oh, yes, this scene was funny, where he's trying to think how he could explain to the government what he's got. Like, I have a giant alien who shrunk himself.
And so they go... I think they go searching for the next kaiju because he smells it.
Well, they heard on the news because
the
people's plants were
poisoned.
Yes, and so there was another monster sighting. But then he carries. They go to the place, and the cops won't let them go. And Kosei's like, no. You have to listen to cops. You can't just ignore them.
So he finds a way around.
So he grabs him by the butt and jumps
the back of his pants
onto the bridge, which I love. All the cops like just there in front, like, what's that sound, huh?
Well,
and then when he jumps farther out and disappears, the cop turns around like, oh, it's nothing.
Well, and this is the episode where Omega is given a name. All because of the fact that Kosei is like, wait, you don't want to get experimented on, do you?
Yeah, because when he asks Ayumu, like, what would happen if you found this giant? Oh, he'd be taken by the government and experimented on it and interrogated. He'd never be free again.
Well, yes. So through his stuttering, Kosei stuttering, he gives Omega the adopted name of Sorato Okida. And it's funny because going this on forward, that's all we know him as. That's Sorato. And the couple of funny aspects about this particular episode is we still have Sorato who is constantly hungry.
Oh.
To the point where Ayumu, when she meets them, gives him her lunch. And he complains about it.
Because I love when he's buying, this is bitter. This is bland. Like, yes, I totally agree with him on that.
It's a daikon radish. It's supposed to be. And he's eating that and a cucumber. And watery. But so you get that. He's an ungrateful brat. And then when we get to the end of the episode, Kosei gives her a nickname of Ayune-san. Or Ayune or something like that. For like, almost like saying big sister Ayu. And then when Sorato does it, she's like, I think we're the same age. Because in real life, and I'm assuming this is how the character is playing
she's 29, but the character's 27.
Okay, so she's playing late 20s. We have Kosei, who's probably playing early 20s, like 21, 22.
Well, I like when
and then Sorato,
she says, well, you're about the same age as me, right? I was waiting for Sorato to say, you're 5,000 years old.
I was waiting because in the later episode, Kosei actually asked him, you were around for 1,000 years, right?
Well, and I think he said he didn't remember that.
Yeah.
But I do like the monster in this episode. It looked like a whale to me, but I guess frog makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But
I liked how the costume design is, but I felt bad for the costume.
With the little arms?
Well, not that, but because of how this costume is set up, essentially the actor, unless they're incredibly short, would have to kind of be hunched over in a way to be able to work it, not just because of the little arms, but because of how big the head is. Well, and so I'm like, oh my God, I can't even see where their eye holes would be, so to speak. Because in some designs, you can get a feel for where their eyes would be positioned.
Or you can see them. But
yeah, but this one you can't. And the worst part is Kosei is trying to protect Sorato because he tries to show how he transforms by taking the horn off of his head. He lifts rocks to try.
No, that's the next episode.
Oh, but he's protecting.
No, this is when he goes to transform in front of at the dam, and Kosei's like, "No, you can't do that. If you transform in front of people, I will not cook for you anymore."
I was like.
So he's like, "Oh." Okay.
And this is the start of me shipping the characters because
actually,
they built this relationship.
Some of his mannerisms remind me of Chrysalis Bloodborne. Of David.
How so?
Because when you tell me if something's gonna happen, this will happen, he'll be like, "Oh."
Oh yes. Okay.
Now I will say the design is growing on me. I wasn't a fan of it at first, But I do actually, this whole design with the fully red body with silver highlights is really growing.
I like the spine too.
The spine's pretty cool. I like the chest gear. I do like the blade, even though it doesn't work the same way as the Ultra Slugger on 7 did. But
well, do you see where I get the feels for 7?
But I did like how when he was slicing up the monster, the poison was spewing, even though it was in pretty bad CGI.
You just give it.
I know,
to them.
but it was a pretty cool fight and pretty cool monster. Great camera angles. The music in this show has been really good for the in-show music.
Well, even some of the in-show music sounds like something that's like copyrighted from America at times.
But I will say right now, I'm not feeling the openings and closings.
That's fair.
Now the closing I like more than the opening, which I guess makes sense because it's done by the people who did Blazers. I think it was Blazers closing. Mindarin. But I will say the opening, I don't know.
Well, when we get into after all of this, because he comes back hungry, and IU is not entirely sure how he got there, but it was interesting to see how that worked out. Now, when we get into the 3rd episode, Beware of the Cold Wave. This was kind of interesting as well. And the one thing we actually also didn't talk about is the fact that there's a radio show that starts and ends all of the episodes.
Well, not starts, but yeah.
Well, sometimes what I mean starts is they're
listening to these two people discuss. One loves to repeat the word luxury.
And they don't talk about necessarily everything that's going on with the monsters. They sometimes just talk about random nonsense
that has something to do with the theme of the episode.
But now we get to episode 3, and Serato is now working at the warehouse. I don't know if he's an official employee, but he's been tagged into doing work. So you can see that things are happening in between the weeks that are building this relationship, because you can also see that IU, when she comes into it, there's this bond between her that starts budding here.
Well, I did and she's come there to ask Serato questions because now the government has deemed them as kaiju because she reported what Serato called them.
But she hasn't told them who he is, so he's still protected.
Except they do inform her that he has amnesia.
Yes. And that is all to protect him in a way of...
But I did like how he started, pull out his blade in the middle of the little interview. And he is just going crazy. Trying to,
and Kosei is trying to coach him still. And you can tell when they're doing the translations that they're not doing a perfect translation of what they're saying. They're kind of Americanizing some of the dialogue. Like the term "don't spill the beans." That's not something the Japanese would necessarily say. But I do like the fact that as we're watching it, we're getting it where we understand the idioms they're referencing.
So as they're discussing it, another monster has appeared, apparently. I like when they go out and they're going through the forest, and Serato stops, and he's like, "Oh, this is where I woke up naked." And they're like, and Ayu's like, Did you make a police report?
And she then looks at Kosei, because Kosei is his cousin, because that's what they said to make it simpler. And she's like, did you make a police report? Because he has to take responsibility for him. But this is the episode where he tries lifting everything because he has immense strength. And he's trying to dig into something.
Yes, because he senses something familiar, but he doesn't know what it is.
So now we have Kosei, who is digging up things just to keep Serato from doing something stupid. Not that it protects him necessarily from doing anything stupid, because he's still...
And this was the frozen bird kaiju, which I liked a lot. I really liked the way that kaiju was done. Let's see. What else did I put in here?
Well, you also complained, so he forgot about the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Because you're like, if it's 8 degrees...
It's still technically cold at 8 degrees.
But they don't act like they're freezing.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I was like, I think it's 32-degree difference between Fahrenheit and Celsius.
It's no, not quite. It's really messy how it works. It's not a 32-degree difference.
Well, I used it as an approximation.
Yes, 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point, but it's not the equivalent to the 32 for Fahrenheit.
But that's...
It's not equivalent. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's not equivalent.
It's like the metric system.
Oh, and we find out that Kosei was a track runner who lost in high school, so he completely gave up being a track runner.
And he gave up on everything. Well, not gave up. He's a hard worker, but he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do when he grows up.
People today don't even know what they're going to do. So some people don't know until they're 40.
Some people don't know until they're 60. And you still don't know what you want to do when you grow up.
Yes, I do.
Moving on.
I was waiting because the audience were like,
But nonetheless, we now have it in this episode as they're bonding and stuff. We now get the first of our little gotchas. Reckiness.
Who is like a T-Rex dragon thing.
When I hear and what's different about this is where the side character gets to participate.
Kosei, he gets his participation trophy.
Because he is the one who controls Reckless.
Well, and it's interesting though because
he has a psychic.
Well, it makes me think of Ultraman X with Mecha Gomora.
Now, who had the little 3 things? The little 3 creatures or machines that Ultra used?
Which one?
The first time.
Are you talking about the capsule monsters from Ultra 7?
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Well,
once again, harkening back to 7.
Well, I was going to say, it makes me think of Mecha Gomora from X, being that he was like the partner to X.
Oh, yeah.
Show. But yeah, Kosei controls this creature who, like I said, is a T-Rex dragon thing, and he basically has gravity-like abilities.
And he can fight, not Kosei, but Reckless can fight.
Kosei just gives him orders from afar. But it also seems to deplete Kosei's energy because he's hungry after they're done.
Yes.
Now, I did also like, I forgot to mention episode 1, I did like Omega's stream beam, whatever they call it, when it like loaded up here and then went into his hand.
What do you think about all like the blue lights and everything?
That was pretty cool.
So I do like the fact that Kosei is able to help participate in the battle and be able to help. Now, I do want to mention that Redness is sentient.
Yep.
So it is more of a kind of a mechish type thing, but it is a sentient beast that's bonded. And the other cool thing is Omega can use Reckness to actually communicate
Now,
with Kosei.
one thing I will say that I've liked so far is that we've had all new kaiju.
Well, you complained when we got the one.
Well, we've had 2.
I know, but
And we'll be this next episode, but we'll get there. But then we go to episode 4, which we had a training session between Kosei and Sorato with Reckness. And this is where we meet the manager and essentially kind of Kosei's boss in a way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, who is actually played by the guy who was the commander in Ultraman Dyna.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I do like the pun he does when you meet him. He's like, I'm Oya. Oh yeah, I'm the landlord. And I just like how he makes a pun of his own name.
Landlord is Ona or Onya, something like that.
So so I really like how the actor, I like how the character is this retired old man who really likes Kosei, wanted to give him a leg up.
Well, yeah, because Kosei needed a job just to do something, and we find out that he went to this guy, asked him if I could work here, and because I don't know what I want to do yet, but obviously I need a place to live and to make money, and he's like, okay, well, you can just stay here until you're ready.
Because he basically is retired. So it allows him to still have a business. And it allows Kosei to have stability.
Well, I like, though, when a new monster had shown up. And Kosei was originally going to go fishing with the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Sorato's like, no, you go fishing. You enjoy your fishing. I'll go take care of the kaiju. And Kosei he's like just stomping around to the car. I don't care. Acting like a child.
Well, he is a kid and he's immature, which I really like about it, is because yes, Sorato is immature. He still acts like an adult.
Well, but then they brought out Shogi, and my whole thing with Shogi after the Yakuza, I'm like, oh my god, no more, no Shogi, come on, no Shogi. Like, I don't understand Shogi.
Well, I think he did it on purpose to have Kosei just chill.
Well, that's what he said, because he said something along the lines of, fishing is for when you're relaxed. Shogi is for when you need to think.
Yes. When you need to calm your ass down. So I like this episode because we also get now the transformation of Reckness into a giant foobar sword.
First, actually, I really loved the monster in this episode. It made me think of a giant-ass velociraptor with a bird head. I love the blue eyes of the creature. The blue eyes just really stuck out to me.
Well, you could tell more of the modern monsters having a different subtle design to them than older monsters. But I also liked how this monster was legitimately also a threat.
Well, and yeah, it was basically marking its territory and then wanted to eat people. But yeah, I loved that. That's probably my favorite creature design right now for this series.
And I like how when Kosei's not there, Sorato doesn't even still consciously think, because he says, oh, to Ayu, because they went to the city to look at the monster. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go face it. And she's like, what does that mean? But I do like how Omega slashes at a wall to mark his territory.
But yeah, so we have our new form, which covers this side of his body and is a sword, which I thought was kind of cool. Made me think of something like a
Well, his arm had like a shield to it, and then he has a sword.
It makes me think of something a gladiator would wield, which actually seems to be a common theme right now because Zex makes me think of a Roman or Greek soldier with the way his costume is done.
Oh, I never thought about it.
But I do, even though the transformation takes forever, I especially like the design of the sword.
Oh, yeah.
But then, let's see. Oh yeah, Kosei decides he's going to stay and not quit for a little bit because he needs more time.
Which the manager said, basically in his own way, I'm here for you however you need me.
Take all the time in the world you want.
Well, also because it helps him.
He's like, yeah, lets me have as many days off and have fun.
I was going to say, the dude can act like
but if you need to run, I'll take the shot for you.
Because even though he does not know what they're doing, it almost feels like the manager, has a feeling that they're fighting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the show is when a defense organization is formed.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously they will be part of the team. At least Ayu and Kosei, depending if Surato leaves or not.
Mm-hmm.
But so then our 5th episode, and I figure after this one we'll look at comments.
Sure.
I just figure we'll stop where we had stopped last night.
Okay.
We'll take a break. But this next episode has Kosei forgot to mail a package out into the middle of nowhere.
Obviously, we have somebody in the show that can get from point A to point B much faster than a plane, a car, anything like that.
But so we've got an episode with this girl that befriends. Her mom had died because Japan. Her dad's on a permanent business trip in America, I think it was. Obviously not really.
Oh, wait, I forgot. He does drive.
He got a ride from somebody.
Well, he flew there but got a ride to finish the last leg. I forgot about
that. So this girl has this like little snake creature that she's feeding metal to.
That she named Mikoto.
And her name was Miko.
Yeah.
Miko and Mikoto.
And she has a hard time kind of transitioning to country life because her mother passed away from an illness. She's living with her aunt who is an older woman and never cared for a child. So they're both learning. And Miko just
well, it's a city kid that's in the countryside. You're bored as hell.
Well, I think not only that, but she really hasn't had a chance to like really mourn the loss of her mother alongside getting out of her feelings, which is fair because she's a kid. So you find out, like you said, that she befriends this little creature that she's named Mikoto, that's a snake, that apparently when she first found him, fit in the palm of her hand.
Now he's grown a lot.
And it's actually, I know these types of props have to be harder than hell to work.
Oh, they did a really good job on this.
They did. Because it's not like there's a body in it. You literally have to have strings from above to still move it around. Because it's about 8 feet.
Well, which is why you don't really see its full body in all shots.
And I think that's fair, but it's amazing what they've done with practical.
I did find it funny that Serato followed her, still carrying all the
tools.
Yeah. It was like, okay, that was funny. But then it turns out that this snake is inadvertently sucking the iron out of her, sucks the iron out of her aunt, and
Well, more so her, to the point where she's basically dying. Because the one thing I will say, being an anemic myself, not to the degree that she is, but being an anemic, is that if you don't have enough iron in your body, you actually don't have enough to process everything, and you are exhausted all the time. And it's a challenge because iron deficiencies are a horrible thing. But I like how they represented the iron deficiency in this is by whitening parts of her hair to kind of
she's
show.
gone rogue.
But it's sad, and he keeps on saying this, so I just started ignoring him. But it's sad because she specifically even says to Serato, don't say anything to Mikoto, the snake, because she doesn't want the snake feeling bad and to stop being her friend.
But then it ends up growing big and starts intentionally causing destruction so that Ultraman,
Will kill it.
yep, because it wants to be.
It doesn't want to harm its friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, on the emotional scale, this was a really heartbreaking but also healing episode for the character. And I liked how they handled the subtlety of emotions with it. That by the end, the little girl was able to mourn loss by using Makoto as a supplement for her mom, and by her aunt seeing what's going on, and they were able to bond, which I thought was good for both of them.
Oh my god, though, that whole field. So, how are you going to cut this grass? With this sickle. Like, all that grass?
The Japanese are crazy.
You sure you don't want to get this thing? You see, it's 2025, and they now have this invention called a lawnmower.
I just... There's probably a purpose for it, but I also like how she, for once, there's an English shirt in the show that makes sense. Because it says, keep your chin up.
You mean not like Kosei's episode 8 thing that was for Bakersfield, which is a place in the middle of nowhere, California? All right, so let's take a little break to talk about, to look at the comments.
Okay.
Let's see. Jake Schuster is here. Hello.
Hello to everyone.
Star Wars fan, Ricardo, PJ Pro. I'm sure there's more, but not where I'm at on the chat. Jake asked if there's anything I like about Gojuger. Yes, there are a few things I like about Gojuger.
Not the theme song.
No, I don't like the theme song. I like Fire Candle, I like Kinjiro, and I do like the suits for the Rangers.
I like how your favorite character is a boomer.
For the Rangers?
Essentially.
No, he's actually Silent Generation.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Silent Generation
is the generation before the boomers.
Okay. Let's take 25 years, because he's 80. How old?
87, which would be 1930. I looked it up.
Oh.
He is a boomer. Or he is Silent Generation, not a boomer. Yes. I looked it up because I made a comment of that in my review.
Oh, so he's playing a character from the Silent Generation.
Yes. I think it was 1937 is what he would have been born then.
Yeah, because boomers started 40.
45.
Oh, yeah, 45.
Because World War II.
Duh.
All right. But, let's see.
Hi, Star Wars fan. Hi, Jake. Hi, everybody. Hi, Ricardo. So the whole thing, what's a kaiju? that whole What's a Kaiju reminds me of that scene from Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, where an old woman told a child that there's no such thing as monsters.
It's a different situation because Power Ranger Lightspeed Rescue was still
Go 5?
no, well yeah, Go 5.
Oh.
It was still a continuous Earth, so there had been monster attacks for years at this point.
Wait. So it's still the same set of people?
Well, not the same characters, but it's the same.
Are they still wearing the Mighty Morphin costumes?
No.
Oh.
No.
I was like, oh my god.
No.
Is Tommy still in it?
No. It's the same universe, though.
Oh.
So a little kid says there's a monster attacking this lady. Says there's no such thing as monsters.
Maybe she never lived in Angel Grove.
The series had not been just solely Angel Grove at that point.
Oh.
And this was in the middle of the series. This, though, is at the beginning of the show, and it's a universe where monsters had not existed before. In fact, I think that episode 3 is when she asks, Ayu asks, do you think more monsters will show up? And Serato says, yes, they're waking up.
Yeah, I remember that. Now, Star Wars fan also says, and I did get news that from Ultra Ricky, that the dub will be coming out in late November.
Yeah, it's weird. The dub is not coming out till the end of the year.
I thought it was simultaneous.
Not this year.
Huh.
I don't know if maybe it's because they want to. Maybe they felt the dub for ARC wasn't up to par because of doing it simulcasting, and they wanted more time to work on it, or maybe they just weren't ready with the scripts. I don't know why the dub's not out yet for the show.
Serato's hunger could have a competition with Goku and Luffy. I will say, on the scale between Goku and Luffy, he is more Luffy, and the reason I say more Luffy is because he also has this lightheartedness and adventureness that Luffy has that Goku as a character typically doesn't. Goku typically doesn't have. I don't find Goku lighthearted. Now, on the scale of being an amnesiac, then yes, he's more Goku than Luffy. But I just get more Luffy vibes. How's Omega start for you 2 episode? That's from Ricardo. Omega design was neat for me. And Ricardo also thinks that Serato is a good protagonist.
Yep, like I said, he reminds me of Takumi from Fives, but with a more childish nature to him.
And Ricardo, I'm just switching out comments real quick, but Ricardo also agrees with me that it kind of feels like Omega is the Ultra 7 of the new generation, so to speak. And then Star Wars fan asks about the end of GOV. We'll get into it more in our GOV video, but I think we both agree that it was a huge success.
It was a great series.
And I know Junko doesn't care about me, but I am so proud of her for finally knocking it 100% out of the park. And then Ricardo also hopes that Omega will be good as Blazer and Arc. Mr. Arrowverse16 says hello.
I'll just read off what I said about GOV Online. Okay. GOV was a delicious ride of enjoyment that was popping for a good time. We got an allegory for drug addiction through the use of candy with a solid cart of characters. The show was fantastic, balancing the sweet with the sour moments. It creams all shows after Guy. But I also said the music was incredible. Ghost Sakabe soundtrack was incredible for King Oger and Ghost, but he really outdid himself here. Even lackluster moments were enhanced by his crafted compositions. I love the dynamic of the heroes having a all-human hero, all-grounded hero, and a half-and-half hero. Sajika was a breath of fresh air. The villains were all fleshed out, and they weren't overtaken by evil Kamen Riders during the series. Fight choreography put the MCU to shame, and every episode built up the plot.
Oh, yeah. Then the kaijus, but did you say hi to Mr. Arrowverse?
You.
The kaijus of the series are awesome. The designs are great. The next episode is the first recap episode of Ultraman Omega, which I have to admit, coming in after 8 episodes and having your first recap is, to me, a breath of fresh air for Ultraman.
That was actually nice. Well, I think I read, if I recall, they said something back in April they were going to reduce the clip show episodes.
Probably based on the complaints from fans, that it really does take you away from
especially when
the story.
Especially when you have one right there at the end of the show, in the middle of what should be the final arc. Because that really distracted Arc's final arc.
Arrowverse 16 says they're still watching Naruto. They're on episode 97 in English and 94 in
97 Japanese and 94 in English.
Now, did they edit the series?
Well, they did on Cartoon Network, but the DVDs were uncut.
Oh, okay. And then the only series that is a sequel to another Power Rangers outside of In Space, being a sequel to Turbo, is Beast Morphers, being a sequel to Power Rangers RPM. And Ricardo says that he's going to now see Goth as it's complete, which I will admit, there is an element of me that wants to marathon it. Not right now, but marathon it because I want to know what I'll see, having seen it more consistently.
Well, I want to also, like I said, I actually want to review it. So I'm hoping next year maybe Shout Factory will release it on Blu-ray, so I have a complete reason to review it.
And Kamen Rider 64 says hello.
Yep.
Hello. So we are episode 6, which...
Are we all caught up on comments?
Yep, that's it.
Oh.
So episode 6, I will say, is your least favorite.
Yeah, this is not anywhere near... this episode, it had some funny moments. Then some of the funny moments were more pain-inducing for me. And that ending...
Well, I also don't think you like the added character to it.
Oh, well, there is that too. Which
So this episode starts with a construction site that has the kaiju burst out of the ground and then practically die on impact.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's dead based on where we go in the remainder of the episode. So it comes out of the ground and then dies, and there's saliva coming out of its mouth.
Which Ayu collects, and it just looks gross.
But it reminded me of Ghostbusters, where Venkman is like covered in slime, and oh god, what's his name? Oh, Aykroyd's character.
Let's see, Venkman, Egon, Zedmore, and
I literally can't remember his character name. Jeez.
Oh my god. Egon, Peter Venkman, Zedmore, Spence? No. I can't remember it now.
Yeah, it's going to bug me.
But so we get introduced to a co-worker of Ayu's. This little freaking annoying brat who whines the entire
race
episode.
Dance.
Oh yeah, Ray, duh. But he whines the entire episode. Oh, people said it in a comment just now. And he's all like, yeah, we didn't sign up for this. I'm going to quit. You should quit with me. And they start getting chased by another giant monster. And Serato and
That's kind of bullshit. Sorry, I was just looking up Ghostbusters, and the one actor they don't have on here is for Zedmore.
Hudson.
They don't have Ernie Hudson on here. I'm like, how do you not have Ernie Hudson? Isn't that bullshit?
Well,
he was in the first one.
That's weird.
Yeah, and thank you. Sorry, it just bothered me. I was like, how are you not having Ernie Hudson?
I know he was a last minute addition, but still.
Right? Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to digress, but that just bothered the shit out of me.
But, so, now I've lost my thought on where we're at. Oh, yeah, there. So then Serato and, Kosei arrive in this mountainous area. Well, no. That's now I'm remembering. Serato ran off on his own.
Yes,
Kosei chases after him. Serato is in the forest, just having fun, and ends up falling over because he's hungry.
Yep.
And then Kosei is looking everywhere for him. Ayu and her annoying assistant find Serato. Now my brain is. And she's like, what are you doing here? And didn't you hear this? As if he's actually climbing a mountain. And there comes Kosei like, oh, there you are.
It was...
Which that was kind of funny.
Massive.
And we got to learn Ayu is a biologist who wanted to study biology because she came across someone had thrown out a pet turtle because it got too big apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So she took care of it and decided she wanted to take care of animals. And then we have the monsters basically look like moles. And the one pops up, and they find out, it's mating season.
Yes.
Which, I'm like, oh god.
Well, and then they found out that
But we have these comedic antics going on with this wacky music.
Yeah, because of the dancing. I think that's what really throws it off.
And I'm just like, oh my god. Oh, okay. This is definitely not my episode.
Well, and so when they're all, I think the funny thing is when Serato pours out the saliva and then puts dirt over it because he's like, it has the scent of kaiju. Basically, if you want the kaiju to come to you, you're making it very easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when you put like deer mist on you when you're hunting. Don't do that because it's literally just piss. But yeah, you can spray things to have deer think it's safe because you smell like a deer, or the area around you smells like a deer. Mm-hmm. Why? It kind of think of it like for when you're hunting for sharks, like what they did in Jaws, where they chum the water because blood is what attracts sharks. So it's all about getting people.
There we go.
But yeah.
Almost there!
But I think he wanted to kill Serato.
But, so they have to camp out at night, and this guy is like, I will not camp out, I will not camp out, I will not fall asleep if it's not on a bed. I'm like, okay, I totally get it. I can't fall asleep if I'm not in a bed, but shut the fuck up, dude.
Which, it's funny because...
Quit being a bitch.
He acted exactly like you.
No, he didn't. He was worse.
See, I've camped. I prefer to camp within a tent, but I've slept on the ground. It's not ideal. Well, when we were traveling cross country, it kind of made me think of this, which I think Tim's look of shock when I said I'd do it made me laugh. So when we were traveling cross country, hotels are pet friendly for dogs, not for cats. So when we got to the first hotel, and Tim's like, "Well, we can't take. They're not letting us with cats in, or not Tim. Sorry, Silver Quill." I was like, "It's fine. I'll stay in the car with the cat." And the look on his face, like, "You'll sleep in the car." I'm like,
Well, and I was like, "No, we're bringing him in. We're bringing the cat in. I'm not going to pull on this game. I don't care if they get pissy about it. Doesn't matter. It's not like we're ever coming back to this hotel ever again."
yeah, because we were in the middle of nowhere, Kansas.
But yeah, it was like a strict no pet policy. But their door to get in the hotel was right on the side. It was right in the stairwell. So we got to go up to our room, and they never even knew.
And surprisingly, our cat does really well in a hotel. He is the loudest creature when he wants to be in an environment that he's not comfortable with. But the moment you put him in a hotel room, it's like he's in the lap of luxury. He just chills. Like, you son of a bitch.
But
I love you, but you son of a bitch.
But yeah, so they find out that this mole just wants to mate.
And so we also find out that the other mole is not dead.
Well, is it? I thought Toku.
No. Neither of them are dead. They're kind of like stunned. There are certain animals that when it comes out into light, it stuns them.
Why? Was it attending a Diddy party? Was there baby oil involved? Was Bill Cosby there?
Are we just going to name every creep? Because you
Was it
left out like about
Was it
20.
a trip to Epstein Island? But all I know is I was like, okay, so are we about to watch Kaiju Calamities? What? That's what I should name the live stream. Watching Kaiju Calamities.
I can't believe you just referenced Looney Tune cartoons.
I wasn't thinking of Looney Tunes.
You weren't thinking of like the Merry Melodies cartoons that had like the funny things when you narrowly avoided the mating season of a random animal?
Well, the Spider-Man issues did that. Spider-Man and Betty she goes into his apartment and gives him something, and I forget what, but they kiss, and it says, "Meanwhile, while that is happening," and it cuts to another spot with one of the villains.
Oh my god! Well, at least they kept it very PG for the kids. Oh god! Now I'm thinking of the G-rated commentary from Scream 1.
But yeah, I thought we were about to have Kaiju Calamity.
But
so I was so glad we didn't actually see it on screen.
But it ends with because it starts with Ayumu talking about how she really wanted to be somebody who focused on endangered species, and then we get to the end of the episode, and she's like, I'm gonna stick with this. And all in my mind I'm thinking is, technically all of these creatures are endangered.
And then, of course, we have our little suck up, like, "Oh, I'm going to stick with it too, because you inspired me."
Now we get the episode that I actually found, like, so hilarious.
Because...
Well, I did forget one thing about the camping scene. So, where I really started my...
Oh, your little
my
ship,
shipping.
Your ship
pick. Because you have, I can't remember his name. Was it Yuta?
Did I write it down? No, but I think it was Yuta.
Where Yuta, the assistant to Ayu, he's laying there snoring. Ayu is sleeping. You have Kosei sleeping.
He's sleeping on like an
angle. And then you have Sorato lying on, literally just having his head on top of Kosei's stomach.
Side, like he's a pillow.
And I was like, this just shows the perfection of how the relationship is. But I will admit that I was like, oh, shipping, just like I did with Hanto and Shoma.
And Sachika and
Rakia. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, it worked for me. But this is the episode where you got all bitchy.
I didn't get bitchy.
For Gomra?
I wasn't bitchy. I was just like, oh, we're using an older kaiju. Okay.
That's not at all how you said it.
I guess it's fine since we've had 6 episodes.
That's not at all how passive you were when we watched it.
Whatever.
But, so, we find out that, one, Soratu learns the meaning of I'm beat. Because he's exhausted.
Yeah, because they both get their asses beat by Gomera at the start of the episode.
But it turns out that Sorato is actually sick. And you find out he's sick because he's not hungry.
And, well, and it's funny because he's like, I have a cold!
Oh, he's excited about having a cold. He's excited about having a fever. And when he gets told you should go to the hospital, he's excited about going to the hospital. Until they're like, well, what if you don't have the physiology of others? And he's like, oh, okay. No, I'll go to the hospital after I feel better.
Bakersfield football. Like,
the Japanese have the coolest English t-shirts. And I say the coolest English t-shirts
but then we get this,
because they make no sense to me.
And then we have this live streamer who is making up lies about...
using AI, too.
Yeah, making up lies about Ultraman is actually secretly invading the planet to take it over. I'm like, oh my god. I know exactly who he would support.
But... because the best part of it when they're watching this is that Sorato actually asks the question, did I do that? And Kosei is like, no, you didn't. And he's like, it's AI.
I like how he didn't realize, like, oh, I did that? No, you didn't. Do you not remember what you do when you're Ultraman? Well, and then they find out the meteorite crashed by where Gomera was, waking him up. Mm-hmm. And the meteorite is another robot companion.
Yes, and to get it, so since and Ayu comes over wanting to ask more questions about the kaiju, but being that Sorato is sick, she's like, I'm going to make rice porridge. So, because in Japan, there's this philosophy, which in truth, it makes sense because it's chicken noodle soup for us. Having something that's bland but has a lot of nutrients can be very helpful for your body. Because if you eat things that are bland, you're not going to get sick. And so when he eats it, he's like, it's so bland. And he's starting to refuse to eat it.
And she's like, nope, you're eating it. Well, I like how he puts it, he grabs it, she's not paying attention, so he puts it down, and when she goes to leave, because she has to go take care of the kaiju thing, she's about to leave, she's like, oh, make sure you finish that. And he's just like, oh.
I loved it.
But we have, while he's getting the object, looking for the item, Kosei's getting the item that becomes a new toy. We also get to meet this Wolfie guy who is a complete asshole. He's sitting on the middle of the steps, so people have to walk around him, and yells at a lady for calling him out. And he's like, well, no one else is complaining. Well, no shit, because your society frowns upon people who speak out.
But I understand why she's complaining, because he's in such a position where people have to go at an angle to walk down the stairs. And for anyone who has ambulatory issues that can't walk properly. That is very dangerous.
Well, yeah, it's like, yeah, just because others aren't complaining about it doesn't mean it's not an issue.
And so he sees Kosei find this rock. Because the rock is floating in the sky, which is hella suspicious. But he makes the comment, that's my drone. Wolfie is like, no, it's not. And he convinces these randos to start chasing after Kosei, blocking him around a tree. And then when they see Gomora fighting,
and Omega shows up,
he's like, it's evil, it's evil. And so the rock crumbles when Kosei talks about how much he trusts him and how Omega is there to help us. And so our next thing is really weird because it looks headless.
No.
Because the head flips round.
Last. But to me, it looks like a Triceratops and a lion.
But isn't it called Trigeron?
Trigeron, yes.
Yeah, Trigeron. And in CGI mode, it has like this fur that moves, but when you see it as an actual figure, the fur just stays flat.
Right, and it's the suit as well.
And Wolfie is still trying to convince everybody that Omega is evil, that he's utilizing these monsters as a means to destroy, because if he used his beam to start, it would have ended the fight easily. And in all my mind, I'm like, well, yeah, technically it would, but...
Well, okay, so I loved, because one of the things is, in the original Ultraman episode, Gomora's tail gets cut off.
Yes.
Well, that started becoming a character trope for Gomora. And...
Well, it hasn't happened in a long time.
Oh, it happens a lot.
Oh.
Where his tail gets cut off. So I just couldn't help but laugh, though, when Gomora's tail gets cut off, and he's looking like, tail's been cut off again. And then he grabs it, and it's just...
Yeah, I love when he grabs it, and he's holding on to it.
But then, so yeah, our new Trigeron helps destroy our Gomora. And then we have Wolfie here all trying to do his conspiracy theories. Nobody's listening, so now he's all pissed off and like, let me have the best.
And he's losing subscribers in real time.
It's like, basically, he's like Twitter whenever you disagree with somebody.
Actually, more and more people are like, I don't use social media for anything outside of just keeping an eye on my family and my friends, but social media...
Oh, did you not see the thing I posted on your Facebook page yesterday?
No. Oh. We don't have to do it during the stream.
Well, it's funny, though, but okay.
But I do like the fact that Kosei shows Sorato the new creature, capsule monster, I'll just go with. Since we're going the 7 route. And he's like, no, I don't recognize it. And he's like, I'm still tired.
Oh, and he keeps sneezing on everyone.
And Kosei, because before Kosei left, he also said, don't you go out and fight the monster. I'll take care of it. And he can't sense where the kaiju is, so he's listening to the news and then has to do something that probably confused a lot of kids. Actually, maybe a lot of kids in America. I don't know about Japan. He had to pull out this amazing thing called a map look on a map. And then we have our next episode.
Well, do you want to tackle comments before we go to the last episode?
All right.
Because we left off at... Kamen Rider 64 saying, yo, guys.
And it said, which one had the best superhero time? Me, I say Kabuto and Bokuger. I don't think I've seen any of the superhero times.
No,
recently.
No, superhero time was the combo of Sentai and Rider back to back.
Oh. I liked Gaines.
Well, we had, let's see, Yeats and Don Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they did have one, didn't they?
Yeah, which back to back.
Actually, I don't remember them well enough.
Well, okay, so
because some of them led in, some of them connected with each other.
no,
Oh.
just the shows that are running concurrently. So Kuga and Time Ranger, Agito and Gal Ranger, Ryuki and Hurricaneger.
So that's considered superhero time.
Well, that's what that block is called, superhero time.
Mm.
So they're asking about what block, which block did you like the best for the series running together?
I've never seen Bokenger, admittedly, so I can't speak to that one. I did like Guto, though. What's the series that was running with Hurricaneger?
Ryuki.
Then that's my favorite.
Ryuki and Hurricaneger?
Yes. Actually, that works perfectly because Hurricaneger's my favorite Sentai, and Ryuki has my favorite character of all time. And is a great series.
Let's see, it was Blade and Decker Ranger. Hibiki and Manji Ranger. Well, Kuga and Time Ranger was a really good combo. Don Brothers and
Gov?
Keats.
Keats, oh, yeah.
Although Boominger and Gov was a good one, too. Just that we ended earlier this year. I'm just going to go with the Keats Don Brothers one. And Time Ranger and Kuga.
Ricardo says that they like that this new series is not connected to any of the previous Ultra shows. That feels like a new universe.
Well, they're all new universes technically, but yes.
Well, kind of like how they had it where the transformation was based on
right.
Ultras. And what? Okay, I'm looking at the wiki page for Ghostbusters, and it says Ernie Hudson, but he is at the end of the list. Yeah, I looked at the wiki page as well. I was looking. So if you go to Google and you just type in the movie, it will then take you. You have an option to see about the movie. You have the cast, and you have a few different columns.
Well, yeah, because
and the cast doesn't show Ernie Hudson.
Well, at first I thought maybe it's in order of appearance. But
yeah.
there were characters that showed up before Egon made an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't make sense.
Well, and I understand that Ernie Hudson was a late add to the show, to the movie, I mean. But it just feels like a slap in the face that Google, if you just look on there, doesn't have them listed. But yeah, thank you for Ray Stantz. I thought his name was Ray, but just like episode 10 of Ultraman Blazer, and the episode of Zet, where Kaiju protected their child. Yes, okay. And if Red King appears in this season, I'll say the same thing. Well, I will always complain about Red King.
Unless it's the Red King?
Unless it's actually red, which I've only seen once.
It's only in one series.
And it frustrates me because every other series that Red King appears in, and it's not red, but they continue to call it Red King.
Well, that's because since he's originally called Red King, you just can't change his name out of nowhere.
But okay, let me ask you the question: when Red King originally OG appears, was it red?
No.
Why not?
Well, I think actually when they originally designed him, he was red, but then they changed it because the suit didn't look right red, I guess.
But you could have just called it something else other than Red King then.
Well, it depends if they had already filmed the episode or not.
I don't care. It's the point of the matter. You could have just dubbed over Red with something else. You don't continue to have a character named Red King that has nothing to do with red.
Okay, brown pastry.
But it's the episode with Gomora, which, in my opinion, needs to be retired. Be a retired kaiju because they're used too much.
Wow.
Oh, that's what he meant. If Red King appears, he'll say the same thing.
There's one other I think that needs to be retired.
If you say Zeton,
no,
I would.
Gabila, who's going to be in next week's episode. I hate Gabila.
Because my favorite character for a monster that's not used enough is Zeton. But yeah, they do have you see anime characters speaking English. And then Commodore 64 asks, have you seen anime characters speaking English?
No.
Because there's a...
I get it.
I've seen not in... I would say not often in recent anime, but in older anime, oh my god. When they legit translated the script and the voice actors read it as it's translated, oh yes, there was a lot of English.
I haven't watched any new anime.
But from a lot of the anime that I've seen in English, thankfully, there is somebody who translates, and then sometimes it's the same person, sometimes it's different. Somebody that goes through the scripts and makes sure that they make sense for English viewers. That's why, like, a lot of companies, Crunchyroll, Funimation, Viz.
Funimation's not around anymore.
I'm just talking about the different companies that when they translate something into English, this is why some anime fans get so pissed off and will only watch the subbed version, even though I'm going to break somebody's mind here.
This is what I think that the people don't only refuse top down on.
But they Americanize certain elements when they're translating because we don't know Japanese idioms or Chinese idioms.
Well, and the producers, a lot of the producers have said they would rather have their line fully changed to something else if it's going to get the same reaction from an American audience that it did to Japanese audiences.
Well, and that's exactly it.
Because Excel Saga, there was a lot ADV had to change joke-wise to make it work.
But the original... But the original...
I think it was Excel Saga.
Yeah, Excel Saga, they had to do it to a lot of series. But the purpose is, if you don't do it, people are not going to understand what you mean. That's why, like, the hardest, if you ever want to know...
That's why the subtitles in the one episode said about
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, but he's pointing towards his throat.
No,
that is one of them.
No, the one you were talking about referencing earlier.
Oh, spill the beans.
Yes.
No, in this episode, for episode 8 that we're going to go on, Sorato says it's on the tip.
No, that was the Gomora. Because she's like, do you remember that kaiju?
Oh, yeah. And he says it's on the tip of my tongue, but he's pointing towards his throat because in Japanese, there's an idiom that's stuck in my throat. And while that kind of makes sense, in America, it's always that tip of my tongue or on the nose or anything like that. But for people who like the original Japanese audio, I hate to break your hearts, but they're still changing the scripts. Even fan subbers will still change the scripts to make it make sense.
Well, I
hate to break your heart, but it's not like they're translating it word for word.
Because it wouldn't sound right if it was word for word.
And if they do leave the original joke and they will put subtitles at the top of the screen saying what the joke is.
Like, what was it?
But what I'm saying is there's not as much English because even in Japan, you have a lot more native English speakers or really strong English speakers of Japanese individuals that can help with translating a script into English. And actually there's a lot of more actors in Japan who have lived in America for a period of time that can translate idioms. So you're not going to hear as bad of English as you did before.
I guess they actually technically didn't kick off Superhero Time until 2003. That's when they truly kicked it off for the Rider Sentai
So yours wouldn't count. Mine would, because mine was 2006, right?
No, yours was 2002.
Oh.
So technically no.
Damn it.
I'm trying to think. Well, yeah.
What year was Geki Ranger?
2011.
And who was the Kamen Rider?
Because
that would have been...
I'm not 2011. Geki Ranger, I'm thinking Go-Kanger. Geki Ranger was 2007, which would have been Deno.
Okay, I'm not going to go with that one. I love Deno, but not that much.
We had Double with Shinkenger. Well, Decade and then Double with Shinkenger. So Double and O's with Go-Sager. O's and Forze with Go-Kaiger. Forze and Wizard with Go-Busters. Do I have that right? Yes. Because Wizard and Gaim with with Kyoruger, and then Gaim and Drive with Tokuger, Drive and Ghost with Ninninger, Ghost and Exade with Juoger, Exade and Build with Lupat.
Who's with Kara Major?
01.
Okay, then I'll choose that one.
Okay.
Well,
I'll say Don Brothers and Yeats.
Well, that's my second one. Okay, so I meant the best superhero time segment.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay. And then Star Wars fan or segment.
Okay, then I'm not sure what that means.
Because I thought there were times where, like, thinking of Gaim, where Gaim was inserted into the...
Are you talking about the intro that launches the Superhero Time Hour?
Okay.
Because I don't...
Doesn't Gaim appear in...
No. Oh, those, you mean the crossovers?
Yes.
Those aren't Superhero Time.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I'm not sure.
Well, if you could let us know, Kamen Rider 64, that would help. Star Wars fan says they watch both sub and dub. It doesn't matter. I'm the same way. And Arrowverse says unless it's Pokemon or Digimon. Well, yeah, but that was because I think it was 4 kids for both of them, right?
No, Digimon was Saban.
Saban. Well, Saban, just like 4 kids, would have made the shows palatable. Mm-hmm. And so that would have cut out a lot of stuff. Because if you're trying to market it towards a young audience, you couldn't have as much of the violence. Even though watching it fully unedited from Discotheque, I can't say the show was overly violent to begin with.
No, there were just little things.
Little
like
things.
Like Pinokemon's machine gun.
Yeah. But I think they probably could have gotten away with just the name changes instead of doing whatever editing they may have done, like the machine gun and certain things. Because I understand Devimon, Angelmon, like those, because the devil, the Christian.
Well, no, I think
context.
They did.
I don't think they kept Devimon. I don't think they kept the name.
I know they changed the second boss man dude, the vampiric one.
Yeah. Well, I could see them cutting certain things out of his as well, because that was a little over the top. But
Well, I think
still,
Silverpool said that they didn't actually show the pumpkin dude in the other one getting killed. Was it the ghost?
I think so, because there were certain things, but Ghost Stories became a meme. Actually, that is false, Star Wars fan. So there is this mandala effect.
No. He said because they had a hard time translating the script.
But that's not true either.
No. The true
story is, from what I've been told,
the licensor was actually pissed that they changed it into a parody dub.
Because
But no, what they're saying is they ended up making it into a comedic dub because they couldn't figure out how to properly translate the show. For it to make sense to the normal American audience.
Yes, that is true. But I also think it was because they got lazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of those series. This is why you do see certain series that come to the United States that will not have a dub. Because if it's too hard to dub, because you'd have to change a lot of the...
Sometimes it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Especially if it's a low-key show that won't be that
And
popular.
I think the only reason Ghost Stories is popular is because of the fact that they shat on the show and made it into a comedy that had nothing to do with the series. 4Kids changed the script for Pokemon. Yes, they did to a degree.
There was another series, Duel Masters, that they completely butchered.
Well, Monster Hunter as well.
Monster Hunter still kept in tone with the
Japanese.
It did? But no, Duel Masters, they completely butchered that into a parody dub.
Now, they didn't do anything bad with Zotchbell, from what I remember.
I don't think so. They just never actually finished the show.
And I think they didn't do anything bad with I think it was a kid who saw ghosts that they were playing Go.
Hikari no Go?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I don't even think they finished it. They didn't finish Case Closed.
I don't even know. Well, Case Closed is still going.
I know, but they never kept up with
that. No, I don't even think Hikari no Go, the anime, ever made it past like one season.
Oh, okay.
I think it lasted. Well, I don't know if it was a 26 episode season or 50 episode season, but I don't think it never made it past one season.
And I could see for the Monogatari series why translation issues would be the reason why they didn't dub it, because Monogatari.
What's Monogatari?
It's like a huge universe of a lot of different animes, and none of them are dubbed. But they never dubbed the rest of the K series or brought the rest of the K series back to US.
Well, and they haven't bothered to dub the rest of When They Cry.
Oh, I like this. I called the Ghost Stories dub the South Park of anime because of its humor. I am going to steal that because that is so true. The South Park of anime. What about Cardcaptor Sakura?
They butchered that.
You were pissed when they brought that out because they tried to make it where...
Well, they also skipped episodes.
Well, they skipped episodes for the purpose of trying to make it where it wasn't just Sakura.
That Shalron was the main character.
And he wasn't. And they skipped... And thank you for Box Knight for putting that. He also says, what's up, by the way. But yeah, they actually also put it to where the brother, Carol Barros didn't have, oh God, I used to have the cloud cards. I'm so pissed that I got rid of them.
Okay, well, we probably should get to this episode since we are at our...
But I will say the Sailor Moon Deep dub, I actually, hot take, love that still.
The only reason is probably because it was well acted.
It's still my favorite.
Okay, so our next episode...
Sorry.
So episode 8, we kick off with this couple exploring a mountain, and they've seen this mysterious boy who is clearly pointing, "Do not come here. Go away." So their process is, let's go run after the kid.
Well, they're trying to rescue him.
Where'd he go? Let's go this way. hey, we're in a place with a lot of junk. Oh, there's a giant monster. Run for your life! And then they find themselves in the middle of other people camping at the lake. And they're just like, what? So then we find out that there are and then so we cut to Ayu is telling Surato and Kosei about this. And because people have made a big deal out of it, she has to go and investigate it.
And she shows them these ghost riders.
Which Marvel probably is suing for copyright infringement.
And they're talking about a Scottish legend of Brigadoon.
Which is like a village that disappears in the fog and shows up anywhere in the world every
1,000 years.
And they're thinking it's related to that. So they go in, so our trio team up with these ghost riders, because you can't call them Ghostbusters. And I loved how Surato just gets all into their antics.
Well, because the one leader in a red shirt goes, yippee-ki-yay! Well, not perfectly yippee-ki-yay, but like yippee-ki-yay! And then the other two go, yippee-ki-yo! Yippee-ki-yay! Yippee-ki-yo! And then they start doing this and bouncing around as they walk away. And Surato just starts doing it as well.
Oh my god, he was so into everything going on in this episode.
God, yes.
So, Ayu ends up getting sucked into the fog. Had no ghost pirates in it. But she gets sucked into the fog, and she finds herself where the couple did. And so the Ghost Riders have to use their machine to open the portal up so Surato and Kosei can go in there because they refuse to go in there.
Oh, yeah. They're like, good luck with this, by the
way. And Kosei's like, what? And Surato just grabs him, throws him in the portal, and then he's like, yay! And jumps in.
Oh, God. I love when they're showing the historical things of the monsters, and Surato is like, does that look like me? Because it's a big, giant man in red. No, it literally just came on the screen. Does that look like me?
No, I thought it was more of him saying to Kosei, because Kosei's like, is that you? He's like, does that look like me?
Oh, yes. Okay, I see.
More of, that looks nothing like me. But these guys are just hilarious with how overdramatic they are. And then when he starts arguing with the AI.
Oh, with Jennifer?
Yes. But, so they go into this portal, and we find out there is a monster in there. And the monster is actually Monstrar. He's from Dinah. But Surato transforms and goes to hit him, and he's protecting this thing on his head. So they're like, oh, well, by logic dictates that's the monster's weak point. But then these portals keep opening up.
Because the machine is malfunctioning.
And the portal opens up, and the Mons sticks half his body out by where the campers are in front of the lake. And they start freaking out. Omega and Trigaron pull him back inside, but then Omega turns around, and then Trigaron is being sucked through another portal.
And he saves him, and I say while we're watching, if there's another portal.
But then we cut also to the people again at the lake, and now they see a monster's legs hanging out because it's Trigaron, and he's being pulled back in. Omega turns around again, and the Mons is being sucked in again on the other side.
I'm just like, and you can see the Omega is like, oh.
That was comedy that was done right.
Yes, no. And then we have the kid again, like, no, you go.
Oh yeah, when Ayu goes there, the kid's like, go away. So she's gonna, of course, run to chase.
But the kid actually protects her.
Well,
when the monster goes to
but yeah, so we have this pretty hilarious fight though. That I was like, yeah, that's how a comedy bit should be done, because that was funny. you treated it seriously, but had comedy and it balanced each other. Not like in the previous episode where you had this wacky circus music going on with this dance comedy bit that just really made it too much. And, well, so obviously we find out, or obviously we knew that Trigodon would connect with Omega, but Kosei learns that he can't use both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, well, I guess you're gonna have to get another party member to control one of them so that both can be used.
Yep.
I wonder who that party member is going to be. But we get Trigon then transforms into more armor that covers this side of Omega. So obviously,
and he's got claws.
When they get their third party member, it will cover both shoulder areas and arms. But then we have, so they defeat him. they get Ayu comes in, and as they're leaving, Surato is like, something about this feels familiar. Oh, did you see the little kid? What little kid? Hinting that that might be Surato at one point in time.
Well, and there is a chance that Surato's human visage is based off of another being. That, because if you go with the whole Ultra 7,
oh yeah,
he is the person, but because he took the appearance of another person at one point.
That he rescued when he first came to Earth.
But he's not that other person. That other person just went on living their lives, not knowing that their personage was hijacked.
But yeah, this was another really good episode. I love the atmosphere with the mist and everything.
I actually hope the Ghost writers come back again because they were fun. I know they won't. They were probably just a one-time only. But I thought
I also love the model of this like desolate, broken down.
Oh yeah, you have an amusement park. You have a pirate ship.
You have a tower from ancient Japan. You have I loved how the miniatures were just all these old objects.
And how they were all put to look like they were aged.
Yep. And that is pretty much the end of our coverage for the episodes, I believe.
Yep.
I don't think there was anything else that truly happened. Obviously, there was a clip show that was this week's, which had Dave doing a recap of the stuff. And then next week brings in Kabila. But yeah, I'm liking the show so far. I like it more than Arc at this point.
Oh yeah, same here.
I like these characters a lot. I like the chemistry between them. I like that they're older. I think it's interesting having a world that is just getting introduced to
Kaiju.
Well,
because another series did that.
I did like at the end when he tried to sneak eating Kosei's meal.
Oh yeah.
The Loco Moco or whatever.
Which I have no idea what it is.
But yeah, I'm liking this a lot. I like Surato's enthusiasm, his childish nature while being serious at the same time.
But seriously, I want these trios.
Kosei's acting is so fun.
Well, the one thing I feel that they must have tried to do is ensure that these actors hung out outside of work at some point to have this chemistry built because it's very authentic.
Now, the girl, Ayano Kudo, who plays Ayumu, she's also actually was in Garo Fang of God, or God's Fang, the Kiba guy, or not the Kiba, the movie with, what's his name?
Which
Kiba.
Kiba. Oh.
Decade.
Oh yes.
I just can't remember if she was the one that was the Makai priestess that used to be partners with Aguri, or if she was one of the human characters that gets killed. But yeah, she was in that Garo movie.
Overall, I really like this.
I'm actually surprised she is not found out yet that Serato is Omega. I've been very impressed with that. I figured by episode 4 they would have figured out. And the way they've written it of her not knowing makes sense.
Mhm.
It's not like it's always being done or as like a cheap gimmick of her not knowing, because she's not nearly finding out every episode.
No. Well, with that, what do you all think of Omega?
But yeah, I've been impressed so far. I'm liking it. The soundtrack, the music itself in the show has been amazing. Still, like I said, I'm not feeling the opening theme. I sort of like the ending theme, but not quite there. And I'm looking forward to seeing where we go from here.
Absolutely. And with that, I am starving.
Do we have any more comments to cover?
Nope.
All right. Well, are you sure?
Well, they were just talking about Sailor Moon.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh, Sailor Moon.
Sorry, everybody.
All right, but as always, click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. You can support us on Bluesky and Patreon at tokuaannetwork, Network, Facebook, Instagram, Discord at Kaiju no Kami. The website is creativitybydesignllc.com. Also, if you did not know, Tokushoutsu has announced their schedule for when they will be airing Kamen Rider Zets starting next weekend, fully subtitled for the new episodes.
Yes.
It's kind of sucks that it's set times, but it's a step in the right direction. And that's pretty much it, I guess. So until next time, there are some GoFundMes in the description below to help the channel survive another 10 years. And for health purposes...
Yeah, my mom just had her surgery. All went well.
Mm-hmm. And until next time. Bye. Which I always do before I hit the end stream.